Growth means change, and change involves risk. Stepping from the known to the unknown. The wild and scenic beauty of Utah has become the inspiring backdrop to a new and unique experience in our lives. Being never afraid of change, our lives took shape. We established a home, friends, new jobs, and a new goal for us to reach. We set our eyes to the wonders of the land that surrounded us. Colorful names and places filled our heads and imaginations with sights and sounds too majestic to comprehend. One of the first things that we did in Salt Lake City was to hit the slopes and hit the snow. Joe learned how to ski and was going faster than me in just 2 days. We also took in the largest open pit mine in the world. It sure is a big hole. Next, we hit the Cottonwood Canyons. These are the 2 canyons where most of the skiing happens in Salt Lake City. It's also where most people go for weekend camping or hiking trips. Most of our hiking is done here. There are beautiful views, old mines, and waterfalls throughout this region. Snow can remain here even into the hottest days of summer, providing a cool breeze just when we need it. Desolation Lake, located in Big Cottonwood Canyon near our home, was our first real experience into the high country of Utah. As we backpacked to this high mountain lake, the peace and remoteness of this area provided us with a chance to escape from the stresses of life building. Antelope Island, the largest island in the Great Salt Lake, provided us with an opportunity to experience some real living history of Utah. One of the oldest farm settlements of the original Mormon pioneers exists here on Antelope Island. Remnants of these pioneers still litter the landscape, conjuring up thoughts of how these pioneers survived and prospered in this sometimes hostile environment. We barely survived with such amenities as an air mattress and a sailboat that took us on a rather intimate look at how salty the Great Salt Lake really is. Mirror Lake found us among new friends, and amidst the high mountain ranges of the Uinta Mountains east of the Great Salt Lake. A hiking club seemed a great idea for us and has proved to be one of our greatest treasures. A great time is always had by all, whether hiking, fishing, or sleeping. It just doesn't matter. The company of good friends makes up for all else. Pulling up to the Dinosaur National Monument sign, we climbed out to take a picture. The silence was amazing. We could hear every pebble we stepped on, and the slightest movement seemed to be loud and intrusive as we positioned ourselves for our picture. Our next task was to select a campsite for the night. We had several to choose from, but it seemed like Joe and I could not come to terms on which one we should take. Poor Rob thought they were all great and didn't understand the confusion. We ended up in a nice spot with a fantastic view of the mountains. After setting up camp and exploring the Green River, we made dinner, and we were all stuffed to the gills. We took a 13-mile road to the convergence of the Yampa and Green Rivers. It was a fantastic ride through canyons and sandy stream beds. The end of the road was more than we had ever expected. Steep vertical walls of rock surrounded us on every side as the wide, cool river swept quietly by. The river and its sandbars were calling to us, and we could not help but go for a swim. The water was cold and swift, but oh so refreshing. I thought back to the time of John Wesley Powell and Lewis and Clark as we splashed around in the cold water and fought the current. We tend to think of these lands as the last refuge of the wilderness, while they, however, were exploring it when it was still true wilderness. Did they enjoy it as much as we do now? Or was it something to be tamed and survived? I tried to look at everything, to absorb the feeling of the place, its quiet grandeur. The rustle of the leaves, the sound of the blowing sand, the clicking of tree branches, and the laughter of the rafters on their way down the river. We were sad to have to leave our newly discovered Eden. Reluctantly, we gathered the gadgets that make our stay in the wilds more comfortable and headed for the car. We all said that we would return and enjoy this beauty again. The day ended with the dust from the road that brought us to this wonderful place, blowing away in the wind.